Alrighty, WRCR. Tina, is that you?
It is I. It is me.
Hello.
Is that you, Jeff?
No, that's actually Will. I'm Jeff.
Oh.
Jeff,
You've
Will.
got Will on the line right now too.
Oh boy, you guys sound similar.
Well, we are, very close in age, so the vocal pipes, sound exactly the same.
Very true.
Yes, Jeff. You and me both. We're both around Will's age.
Yeah, of course. Let's keep it that way. Sure, why not?
Actually, that's a good segue for me to welcome Will Hennessy. This is exciting. A new era, a baton has been passed, and a new age has been dawned. Let me think if I can find any more cliches. But seriously, RCBJ has had the privilege to interview Mr. Hennessy last week, and this morning we put up a story that will give the community a little bit of an introduction to this young man who, as we say, has a lot of fire in his belly and is ready to grab the mic and get going.
With a sonorous voice, I believe. I took a look at the article this morning. Thank you. I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was really helpful. I learned even more about myself.
Yeah, sometimes that's the way it can be. You read about yourself and you're like, huh, I didn't know that about me. But seriously, I think that Rockland County is lucky to have a fresh voice and a young voice with some young perspective, and I think it'll keep us on our toes. And not that we don't miss Steve, of course we do, but very exciting, a new day.
I'll tell you though, as young a package as we have sitting across the desk from me, and I'm not going to go crazy about it. He graduated college last year. He's engaged and looking to get married in the next year. So we're in different stages of life, certainly. But I've got an old soul here across from me. I'm thinking he's wearing a '90s a band on his shirt from a '90s concert he couldn't possibly have gone to.
No, I wasn't born yet.
No, he couldn't possibly have gone to it. He's into comic books and some older things that while he might be in his 20s, he's an old soul, and that works well for dealing with anybody across the spectrum, which is great.
Well, actually, that goes to the heart of the story, which explained how he got there in the first place. I know you're there, Will, but we're talking about you.
That's all right.
What he explains to us and what we talk about is that his parents, weaned him on the beauty and joy of radio and talk radio, and he engaged in this medium long ago enough where, even though I guess you're a millennial, right? You fit into that demographic. But
I am actually a second year. Most people say Zoomer, but Gen Z. I'm Generation Z.
Okay, but the thing that I think with regard to what Jeff says about being an old soul, I think that the love of radio, is partially what gives him that continuity from past generations, and hopefully he will carry that forward to new generations. Because I think we all know that newer generations they don't tune into radio, and they don't think of it as a place to engage musically or to engage in thinking and talk shows and that sort of thing. So I think it's great to have a younger person with a younger perspective in this seat. It should open up the doors to that younger demographic.
I'm hoping he'll teach me what TikTok is all about. I'm not understanding the TikTok.
Well, yes, that is a bit of a mystery. Sure. It's not, and it's funny because older generations have gravitated toward TikTok too, thinking that it's, kind of the magic place to try to market something.
It's funny how you say that, because back in my day, and by my day I mean like the 80s, my friends and I would go to the mall. That was where we would go to hang out. We would go to arcades, and we'd hang out at the food court, and we just, we had our different stores. As soon as adults started going to our areas, we would move somewhere else. I see that happening today. When Facebook first launched, it was for students. But then my my age group came up, and then seniors started taking it over, and then the kids moved somewhere else. They go to TikTok and some other things, and who knows, as soon as all us old folks invade TikTok, who knows where those kids, if not they already are, will be going to. It's the same thing, as I saw older people taking over our space at the mall. Young kids, as soon as we take over their space on social media, they move out.
Well, imagine a world where we all share the same social media space. I wonder if Mark Zuckerberg is listening now, and he could engineer a place where we all participate, or maybe it's something just as old-fashioned as radio, where we all start to come together to dialogue, and have a common community where we can speak and share our concerns and our issues. I actually think it's problematic that we're so, God knows, we're polarized, we're segmented. Mm-hmm. It's like we live in echo chambers. I mean, where is it that we all come together? Does it take like a disaster and just when that happens, a moment in time, and then we all retreat back to our little where we're comfortable or where we're supposed to be? I actually think the internet, nobody wants that to go away, but and cable, but one of the, I guess, the drawbacks of all of this is that it has so segmented us that while we can gaze on what another demographic is doing by looking at their medium, we're not interacting. And I think that's a problem. One that radio, more than any other medium, might have an opportunity to think about or ultimately solve.
To your point, I hear what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you in entirely. However, I really do think that we are fractured beyond repair. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think there are people who are going to find their news and information and their conversational ways in all different areas. Now, I'm on AM radio, but I don't limit my listening habits to just AM radio. I do other things. I like reading newspapers. I like reading websites. I like going to social media. I find a lot of that through the course of my day. And I, of course, listen to radio, watch television, and read books, by the way, which I don't do a lot and should do more. And I should do more. I don't do it a lot. Mostly cookbooks, but that's not the point. But at the end of the day, I have these conversations with my friends and my family in person, and I think that's where we all as a society will end up having our bigger, greater social conversations within ourselves in person, because of all the things we do alone or in some kind of community using a medium. I think when we come back and talk to each other in person, whether on AM radio or whether on the internet or whether better off in person, I think that's where those discussions will come by. But I don't think you're ever going to see again, everybody watching the same television program at 9:30 on a Tuesday night, with the exception of the Super Bowl. I mean, that's not going to happen again.
No, I think sadly that you're probably right. Speaking of reading, I hope that Rockland County Business Journal is one of those things on your list.
RCBizJournal.com, of course it is.
Of course, and speaking of cooking, just to I know my time is TikTok running. Speaking of TikTok, is running down. But I just wanted to mention one story that we did, which is pretty interesting, and I suggest for you to take a look. We wrote about a company in Orangetown called Chef Man. It's a company probably maybe you've heard of. Maybe you've heard of it through the brand. But it's a company that's just about to double its facility, its warehouse facility in Orangeburg, from 50,000 square feet to 100,000 square feet. And it's actually one of the fastest growing brands in America. And yet, it's probably not at the tip of anybody's tongue, and also many people don't know that it's right here in Rockland County, in Orangetown. And just an interesting read to look at their expansion and to look at the history, the backstory on that company, and how it is, it's capturing or it's part of the warehouse trend, although their expansion started prior to COVID. But we are really seeing pent-up demand for warehouse space, and of course, that's in concert with what we've just been talking about, which is that so many people, not only watching and listening online, podcasts, whatever, but they're also shopping online. So all of these things, have physical impact and changes in the way we live, and we are seeing this proliferation of warehouse space in the county, and also expansions of companies that need warehouse space. So check out that story. It's pretty interesting for those of us who are focused on the business and commerce in the county.
Excellent. Tina Traster, thank you very much. And, of course, your publication, the Rockland County Business Journal, can be found on rcbizjournal.com. And you have a number of, newsletters that people can sign up for. Tell us how people can do that.
Just go to the site, and there's a big pink button, and you can just simply hit that button. It says sign up for our daily newsletter. Just add your email address, first name, last name, and company, and you're good to go. You'll get a free daily newsletter every morning at 7 a.m. in your inbox.
And at some point, I'm going to send you a new graphic for the WRCR logo, because I think the old one's outdated now. That's what I think about it. But at some point, I'll send you a new one.
Actually, send it today so that when we put up as your listeners probably know, we put up every single broadcast that we do with WRCR.
Yep.
So
I hope to get to that today. I promise I'll try.
Right, and again, welcome, Will, and looking forward to many fun discussions.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Thanks, Tina.
You as well. Well, the Rockland Business Journal is brought to you by Leonard. Jeff, you can check
Burbrower.
Burbrower. My spelling on that. So let's hear a little bit from them, and we'll be right back.
I'm Leonard Burbrower, a practicing personal injury attorney in Rockland County and the Hudson Valley. If you've had an accident, a fall down, or a work-related accident, I'm the person to see. 914-672-3775. I'm conveniently located in New City and available 24/7. The lawyer you choose can make a difference. Let me have the privilege of being that lawyer. Find me on Instagram and Facebook. 914-672-3775. I look forward to